Hola, mi gente, and welcome to another episode of Sazon Talk.
Woo! Welcome back. Feels good to be back in the studio.
Yes.
I've missed it so very
Hello,
much.
my dear friend. Instead of hello, my darkness, my old friend, it's just hello, my dear friend.
Hello, my dear friend. But once again, thank you to everyone that has been following, listening to Sazon Talk. Truly appreciate all the support, and hopefully, once again, as the episodes continue, we get more and more guests on. But tonight's episode, we got a special guest via online StreamYard because she's the boss lady. So boss lady don't always can't be always present. So you gotta
I
sometimes
literally just got out of a meeting like 15 minutes ago.
see it's boss shit. That's what you do. But we have the queen from your sports joining us. How art thou, madame?
Hey guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Um, I love the show. I love, you guys, I love you both. So I love to hear your reflections on things, and I think it's amazing that you guys invited me to be on.
Oh, of course, because I think this episode is really cool. Because we probably have all done it. We've all had it done to ourselves. Pause. So tonight's episode, our topic for this evening is going to be about friend zoning.
Yes.
See, there you go. She already ready.
That laughed already.
She already ready. She know.
Well,
See, let me run down the list. That was that face. So let me get this list together. But before we do get started, first of all, girl, who does your makeup?
me. Well, when it's really good, it's my cousin. You can follow her at Flossed NYC. She is a master makeup artist and she does my face like no other. But for this look, it's a kind of thrown together mix of concealer, eyeliner, and eyelashes with a little lip gloss and
Listen, you still look
some
like a
neck.
queen.
Thank you.
Shit, out here looking good and
Thank
stuff.
you.
Cause I done spent $100 at fucking Mac for fucking makeup that I don't even wear on a daily basis. But
Girl. I really love, I'm a MAC fiend, Sephora head, but I would say the best concealer I've ever used was NYX. And it's really cheap, but it goes on my skin and it matches my skin really well. So shout outs to
there
them.
you go. I really want to try. There's this thing I saw on, I think it was maybe Instagram or like on the internet where like you send them a picture of yourself
And it's
and
like
they
it's true to
and
your...
they send you your foundation color. And I actually really low key wanted to try it. Like I was like, damn, that's pretty good because I don't be knowing. So I literally went to Macy's. It was like I need foundation, powder, possibly a lip gloss. What do I go? What am I doing?
Right.
And then I had, a cheerleader in the background and I'm just like, no, like I don't want to get all this shit. So, but that's just a little tidbit of makeup stuff. But I was like, she out here looking flawless. I'm like, I gotta ask this. What you doing
Thank
out
you.
here?
Just a little concealer, cocoa butter,
Cause that's what our color
concealer,
folks
cocoa
do.
butter, a little matte lip gloss,
There you go.
whatever.
Uh,
Because I'm a tomboy by heart. So all this glamour,
Glamour
you
and
know,
shit ain't for me.
I call my style tomboy chic.
Okay.
So it's like I'm a little bit of tomboy, rough around the edges, but I definitely know how to glam it up when it's time.
Ooh, yeah, especially when you out here flawless for your birthday. Happy belated.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
You
you.
know.
Thank you. I turned 30 heaven. So I got a couple more years left in my 30s before 40s come knocking. So
I
Listen,
thank
you
God.
look
know.
great no matter what.
Oh, girl, you better start thinking about your 40th.
Oh, I'm not even there yet. I can't even. It felt like I blinked and turned 37. I feel like just yesterday I was like 30, and
Well,
now I'm
that's
like,
how you living though. That's more about how you live your day to day versus your actual age. Like I
hell yeah.
still, 30 be like 31. I was like, that shit is weird. I told somebody else that was like 31 was weird. Outside, I mean, not being a pandemic type of thing, but it was just like 30 plus one. Like what? But I feel like 32 is about to be popping though. I'm a little
girl,
excited about
I
32.
mean, wait till you hit 33. For some reason, that 33 is either a make or break for me. 30 was like the worst year of my life. 31, kind of I kind of started to get to know myself. And I feel like when you're in your 30s, you have kind of a swag about you that you didn't have in your 20s. Like you're more unapologetic in your 30s. I think you're more you know more of what you want out of
Mm-hmm.
life. And I think that your 30s is that your 20s is about finding yourself, your 30s is about creating yourself, and I guess your 40s is about living what you've built in your 30s.
Right. So,
And
because,
that's what works.
Madame across from me is turning 30 this year. So,
Oh my God,
she's
See?
you're a
the,
baby.
yeah, she's the final lap of our inner circle of
Well,
turning
it's me and
30.
Dre.
Yeah, you're right.
We're like
They're
a
the
few weeks apart.
babies.
They're the
They're the
baby
babies.
babies.
Hmm.
So,
I think I'm the oldest.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Out of
So good.
our little network. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then, well, I mean, my significant other, he old as fuck. But he's 37.
He definitely didn't hear what you just said.
Good. He said here in the back. You can't see him, but he. Oh wait, well he wait. He can see you, but you can't see him.
That 1980, those
She can't see
1984
you.
babies, we have the best of both worlds, 1984, 1985. We know what it's like to actually write papers and play outside without internet and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I grew up with
our
that.
younger generation, like the late 80s, early 90s, it was kind of more of a shift at that point.
Yeah, because I mean, like growing, like I would say probably by the time I got to high school, probably, or maybe like towards the end of middle school, was when like typing like became a real thing. Like you had to have the paper type. But like I definitely typed out. I
No,
definitely
not my
written
school.
papers and stuff.
Well, because y'all went to a fancy high school. Ours
I
was just like we had to
mean,
write everything.
it wasn't so fancy.
Mhm.
I mean, we were behind the Bronx, courthouse, Yeah, I mean, David Banks was my principal for 1 year, so yeah, I guess.
What
So,
school? What high school you went to?
the Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice.
Oh, excusez-moi.
Told you it's a fancy.
It's not
I
that
went
fancy.
I went to Bishop Ford Central Catholic High School. I
Oh,
first
see
started
that?
No,
Listen
you
to that.
went
She
listen,
look.
I went to typical public school.
I went to public. My school was public.
Mhm.
Don't let it get
Yeah.
you
I mean,
fooled.
my
I went to
school
public school for
used
a
to be
year.
Stuyvesant. Huh?
I only went to public school for 1 year my whole life. I was a private school kid from uh, from as long as I can remember. And I learned how to type because my parents bought me a typewriter when I was little.
My mom had a typewriter in
Wow.
the house. Cause like when I was, my mom finished school when I was like 4 or 5. So I remember her having the typewriter. And when we moved from Brooklyn to Harlem, I remember that being in the house. So typewriters was definitely a thing, and I always used to try it and play with it and shit. And then she'd be like, "No, cause you had to slam it back and then start over again." I was like, "That shit
Yeah.
is trash. I don't want that." And then if you fuck up, you gotta put whiteout on it. What? Like,
Yeah,
what
you
do
had
you
to reach over
mean?
and put white out right
Yeah,
on
right. I was like, "Ma'am,
the
that's
wait till
too."
it dried, then type it over. I
Yeah,
remember
then you gotta blow. You gotta blow, fan it and blow it so that it dry, and then you start like that's extra as fuck. But all
fact.
right,
All
let's
right.
jump into tonight's topic: friend zoning. So, ladies, how many people have you friend zoned?
Oh my goodness, girl.
I don't even know how many I friend zone.
A lot. And sometimes you don't even realize that, like,
Subconsciously, you don't.
yeah, I think friend zoning is different for men than it is for women. I feel like with women, we know when we're in a friend zone, and I think that sometimes we have a hard time kind of differentiating. Not all, but some of us, the clues that somebody really
Mhm.
likes you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
So, what's a clue? Well, how would you know if someone really was like digging you? Like,
oh my goodness. Um, when they text you all the time about stuff not relating to other women or their girlfriends or other things, when they're just like trying to always get you to come out with them and it's one-on-one type of situations. Um, buying you like thoughtful things that you wouldn't even think to get yourself. I think that that's kind of blurring the line between friends and like I like you
mm-hmm.
as a romantic conquest or whatever. I think the nature of the conversations, I think the affection is a little bit different.
Okay.
Um, I think that they're more willing to, but I've had some really great guy friends who do those things without expecting anything in return. But it's just a little extra, you know?
No, that's true. I think in terms of, I'm trying to think who takes it the hardest though. Does us as women take it harder, or does guys take it harder? Because I feel like
I don't know.
guys take it more. I think guys take it harder, but they just don't say.
I
Versus,
knew somebody that I did friend zone, and he just like, but what type of thing, and I was just like,
because then they get
and he
weird.
like wouldn't let
But
it go.
but you know what I do feel with situations though? I think men will be more I think certain men are more inclined to take somebody out the friend zone than a woman is.
Okay.
I feel like a man would at least delve into something casual with a friend over a woman for the most part.
Yeah.
That's how I see
No,
it.
because I think as the female in it, like once you realize there are no like real concrete feelings, then you basically kind of moved on in your mind. Like it's just like, all right, you're here, cool. All right, oh, you want to do nice things with me? All right, cool. But I actually really like this other person, so
Yeah,
that's
for sure,
that.
for sure, for sure. And I also think that women, for the most part, make it known a little bit more when you're friend zoned
Yeah,
Mm.
than men do.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I feel like there's a lot of times where they blur the lines, and you really, and sometimes you really just don't know if that person is interested in you as a friend or interested in you as a romantic interest. But I've heard of situations where a guy knows that a good friend of his likes him, you know what I'm saying, and
mm-hmm.
would blur that line, you get what I'm saying, and then wonder why Shorty's caught up.
Right, or be confused of like mixed signals in a way, because
Mhm.
that's actually I've experienced that where I had feelings for an individual, and like we would go like we would do boyfriend and girlfriend shit, like basically.
Mhm.
So it was like we would go on trips, like you knew my family, I knew your family, like I was going to your parents' anniversary party, like shit like that. And it was just like, why are we not like what is the disconnect? And that I think at that moment of like I'm asking like, how do you see me? Because I think that's an important question a lot of people don't ask anymore. It's just like just basic, like how do you look at me?
Mhm.
Because if you look at me like I'm just your good old friend, which he basically was like, oh, I look at you like you're my best friend. It was like, okay, so you don't want to
Mhm.
fuck me? Okay, cool, all right, all right.
You just want to be
You
my
just you just
friend.
want to be my friend,
Kumbaya,
and
my
and
friend.
know that I got your back no matter what type of thing, and which is the truth. And my mom even had to like tell me, she was just like, certain people are just better as friends,
Yep.
Yes.
just plain simple. So like your relationship with that individual is probably just better in that role, because anything further may really damage the friendship in its entirety. And it's just like, I mean, when you any relationship you really get into, you should actually really probably start off as friends,
Mhm.
but you take the risk when you get into it.
You see, it's hard for me to say that. I've never been a fan of being friends first and then dating.
Mhm.
I think that when you're friends first, it's a very superficial friendship. It's never that deep because that line between friends and lovers is so thin that it's like it takes only one conversation to put somebody in a friend zone,
Oh,
and it's
absolutely.
intentional.
Actually, is one word. Actually, it could
One
be it
word.
could be a sentence. It could be a word that you at that moment are like, I really can't fuck with you like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm
for
good.
real. For real, for real. I remember I met a guy years ago, and I met him as a romantic interest.
Mm-hmm.
But as conversations kind of went on and as we got to know each other and stuff, the attraction was there. But I feel that where we were in our lives at that time, it would not have been conducive to a fruitful relationship for either one of us.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that we were very much alike. And ended up being one of my best friends for a long time,
Mhm.
like somebody who I can rely on, somebody who can rely on me. And then slowly but surely, like the romantic feelings kind of dwindled for me, but it heightened for him.
Mhm.
Mm. That
And it made
sucks.
it very awkward because it would just be like, why are you dealing with this guy or whatever? You should date me. And it's just like, nah, like we're already, like, I see you as a brother. And when somebody says they see you as a brother
Right.
or see you as a sister, it is very, 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 very rare for you to get out of
Oh,
that
you
space.
can't. That's the no comeback zone.
Mhm.
You say,
No.
oh, like, oh, you my
You
sis.
like fam
You
now.
like
Like it's not even in
fam.
that level.
Excuse
Ooh.
me.
And if you
Like,
meet that person, that digs in your chest.
Mhm.
That
when homie said, "Oh, I see you as like one of my best friends," I nearly like died.
Right.
I probably drank so much. That probably was a terrible thing that I did, but I probably drank so much that I was just like, and it was New Year's Eve, and you already experienced how I get down New Year's Eve, so I just was like heartbroken because I was just like, you see yourself, you see all the things that could be. And you just feel like the person isn't willing to meet you either halfway or willing to risk to seeing what could be, because I think that's always the fear too. It's like, if I if we don't work as a relationship, then we can't be together, like we can't be around each other, like we can't spend time with each other.
tough. That's tough. I think what the situation that you were describing, you were giving him all the benefits of having a girlfriend without
All of them.
the without
All of
the
them.
intimate piece.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that that happens so much in relationships because it goes apart with our image of what a relationship should be than what it actually is in front of us. You get
Correct.
what I'm saying? And I find that that happens so much. Like, you feel like, I'm not saying you in particular, but I'm saying people in general, they feel like if they show someone the best parts of them, you know what I'm saying, and they're bringing it to the table, showing that there's five real pillars to every relationship: communication, loyalty, love, attraction, and honesty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're giving them an intimacy, and if you're giving them all but one, you feel like you're giving them at least 80 to 90% of what it takes to have a relationship with them. And if they're not willing to even give you that 20 to 10%, you kind of know where you stand, but your heart knows, your heart doesn't want it there, but
Correct.
your mind knows where you are with
Mhm.
somebody. And I think that that's what happens with the friend zone um, often. And like getting back to your original question, who takes it harder? I do think that men take the rejection a little bit harder,
Mhm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I think that women internalize it more and bring it into their next relationships.
A lot of baggage in terms,
Yes.
because the one thing I realized, and I think sometimes we don't look at the positives of when those type of scenarios happen, because like from my scenario, like the positive thing I realized was that, okay, I always will have love for the person, like if he ever needs anything, I'm there, like his family, why, like whatever it is, like I'm always gonna be
Right.
Janelle, and that's fine. But I had realized, I was just like, I know for me, any individual that I deal with, they need to be emotionally available for me. And that was the one missing link with that individual, was there was no emotion, like it was always like we couldn't have an emotional conversation. Like I didn't feel comfortable crying in front of this person, or I didn't feel comfortable saying, like, like, oh, like you hurt my feelings, and it's like you take it as a joke, and it's just like, no, but that ass, you like hurt
Mhm.
my feelings. So at that point it made me realize that that was a necessity that I needed, moving forward, just with anybody, because those, I think, friend zoning someone, it sucks, but it does also help you realize the things that you do want in in a relationship or in dealing with the individual. So there's always plus and minuses with friend zoning someone, but I think it's always how you do it too. I think that's why I said, guys, I think take it harder, because I think as us as women, like I could be in a club and you could probably build up on me when you in my mind, you already in the friend zone, so I don't even know why you
Mhm.
over here. But then I'm talking to somebody else in the club, and you feel your ways. You like, why is
Yes.
she talking to him?
Mhm.
Because I
Yes.
can. The fuck. So
Yes.
that's why I'm saying, like, guys probably do take it a lot harder.
I feel like we've experienced it enough that we kind of protect ourselves.
Hmm.
And because I've done it before, where I've been friend zoned, so like I don't want to take a certain thing like, okay, he automatically likes me. I don't. I try to turn everything off. So when I
Mm-hmm.
friend zone the person, they're just like, well, why'd you do that though? Like you should have just asked. I'm like, well, you weren't really straightforward about it, so I just took it as it is.
For sure. For sure. And I think what happens with the friend zone thing, it becomes awkward.
Mhm.
because I feel as if with certain men, they're for the most part we're inclined to believe that if a man picks on you or treats you a certain way or whatever, that they have interest in you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that that preconditioned notion kind of guides us in the early part of our adulthood and how we deal with relationships and how we deal with friends. And I think that there are some people who, as a guy, he emulates everything you think you want in a relationship, but you get that as a friend. And it's hard to discern the difference between is he attracted or not. But the thing is, what I realize is that if somebody really likes you and wants to be with you, they're going to make that effort to be
Mhm.
with you and
Yeah.
tell you. So I don't know if it's what we perceive or what we're making up in our heads or what we're telling our, we talk to our friends, oh yeah, so and so did this. So does that mean he likes me? It's like then your friend would be like, well, look, my boyfriend did that when we were starting to get together. So it's like you're already being conditioned to think that the expectations versus reality is different.
Oh, because people are delusional.
Oh,
that's
oh,
what
oh yeah. Oh,
that's what it boils down to is the art of delusion. And both female and male side, because at one minute, you can have somebody like for instance, damn, I can't use that story. Never mind. Or maybe I can. So someone, okay, I almost said something else. Okay, so for instance, a guy that says like, oh, I want to bring this person around, or I have a friend, and blah blah blah, and the person comes around, and you already know the male wants more,
Mhm.
but you already see how the female acts around, and it's just basically like, this bitch on friend zone you, and you don't even know it.
Right.
So have you ever been able to have a conversation with like any one of your like girlfriends or even guy friends? Like, have you had conversations with friends, like letting them know like, so let me break this down to you. Like, this person is not probably into you as much as you
mhm,
think.
Mhm.
Like, how
mhm.
have you guys ever like dealt with that?
Well, for me, as you guys both know, I am very blunt and direct and honest.
That is
You
true.
understand? I'm not rude,
Mhm.
but when I love you, I do want to always see what's best for you. And if I peep something that may not be in your best interest, I'm that friend that's going to tell you by hook or by crook,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you in a way that's going to make you feel like trash, but I'm going to tell you in a way that I know that even if you decide to move forward with this embarrassment, you know that I'm not that friend that's going to have you looking crazy in these streets. I've
Right.
had a couple of friends where I've peeped situations like we be out and I see them like just talking to one guy that I know that they have a strong feeling for, and I know this guy don't have a strong feeling for them. Just like blocking themselves off to other possibilities and other potential, you know, partners.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I've lost friends over this as well.
Because they
You
not
know,
ready to hear the truth.
Right.
yeah, I've lost friends over this. I had a friend who was in a casual situation with a guy, and she thought that they were exclusive, but he felt bad for her. That was the only reason why he was like dilly and dallying with her, and he hooked up with somebody else in front of me.
Wow.
I let
No
him know.
respect. This guy got no respect. The fuck?
And what his excuse was that she's not my girlfriend, like I don't owe her anything, you know what I'm saying? She already knows what it is.
Wow.
So
And when
like
I told
somebody
her the
who
next
used to
day,
know.
A
I told her
girl.
I was sitting, we were at a bar, um I was sitting like right here, and him and old girl kissed right in front of me like this.
I mean, at least take it to the like bathroom or
Yeah,
something.
You
no,
would
Like
no,
think.
in
he had
front of your
no,
face
he
though.
had
That's
no
just rude.
qualms.
You would
He had no
think.
qualms, and I could not wait to tell my friend. I couldn't wait. I could not wait. It's been almost 15 years, and Shorty still ain't talked to me.
Wait,
Wow.
hold up. Wait a minute. 15 years after you told her, as you was being a friend and letting her know, like, the nigga you
He's
think
just
you
not
with.
that into you.
But I mean, to him though, I'm kind of on the same fence of like, if I'm not your girl, I ain't gotta really. There ain't no. Oh, I guess it depends on the situation, cause
Right.
that was definitely me over the summer. Like I was dealing with an individual you met,
Oh God.
and then, and then I had to kindly remind him like all the time, like I'm not your girl. So like I don't like. Granted, we're still getting to know each other, but like I'm not your girl. So like how you're feeling, I don't want to invalidate that, but how I move is still on that has nothing to do with you. Like,
But that showed you where you stood with that individual too.
yes,
Because if you really, let me tell you something. Even if you're in a talking stage with somebody, but you really feeling them, you're not gonna move that way. And that goes for either person.
true.
If you're gonna move a certain way, it's like you see a future with somebody, you're not gonna put yourself. You already creating the foundation for your relationship, even before those words are even said. So I feel like when it comes to the friend zone, you know, it's a gray area. Don't get me wrong, but when somebody, I feel like you kind of know when somebody's building with you, or when you know somebody's playing games with you. It's just but on the other hand, people are really duplicitous. People really could perpetrate a fraud for
Oh,
true.
very true. Like,
People could really perpetrate a fraud.
oh boy, we gotta really decide like non-disclosures because I be having to tell stories for days, and then I be realizing, then I be like, damn, wait, this niggas be listening to this shit really, so thereby
Right.
I can't say it.
Right.
But no, but it's the truth. My always issue is like when people try to perpetrate that fraud. It's like, what audience are you doing this for? Like, because no one's really like you living your life is for you. It's not you not living it for the big screen. So like when people really try to front and really try to put something out there like that, it's like, well, why? Like no one actually really looking. So I don't understand. But friend zoning. Amanda.
See.
When's the last time you friends on someone?
I feel like there's a constant argument with two people I know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, like, he swears, like, that he's in love with me. I hate when people that don't know who I really am and sweat that they in love with me. I'm like, you're not in love with me. Yeah, I'm like, you just love what you like, what you see, but you don't know shit about me. Like, you don't even get the chance to even know me. And he's just like, but I know you enough. I'm like, no, you don't. I was like, you can't even tell me when my birthday is, right? Like, that's how much you don't know me.
That's basic shit.
But he's always one of those that constantly is like, hitting me up. I'm like, I don't see anything with you. I don't ever see anything with you. And the moment that if I ever become single, he's just trying to hop right on it all the time. And I'm just like, bro, we're just friends. That's it. Like, there's nothing more. And it doesn't dig into his head.
He lost. It's all right.
And then, like, I remember years ago, when my best friend was still around, he and I were, like, back and forth. Like, we liked each other. But he was obviously a lot older than me.
What's a lot older?
I was 18. He was 30.
Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Yeah, I swear, it's always one thing she says on every episode that throws me for the fucking loop of the lifetime. And this was it. Excuse me? It's a grown-ass man.
He was, yes. But then, like, he ended up just, like, he friend-zoned me. He was like, we should just be friends, whatever.
He friend-zoned you because your ass was young.
I mean, by this time, I was already 20-something. I was, like, 23. We were always, like, on and off for years.
And he was almost closer to 40, so. But continue.
So then he was, like, 20-something because he passed away when he was 33, so.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he friend-zoned me, whatever. But then when he got sick. And I went to visit him because, like I said, like, we stood as best friends.
Right.
And so at that time I was engaged. And he was livid. I'm like, but why are you so mad?
Okay. Hold on. Cause that shit aggravates the fuck out of me. When and it never
It does.
fails. When you single and you out here living hot girls, you doing hot girl shit
Yep.
and all type of, you having the time of your life. Don't nobody want to fuck with you.
Right.
Don't nobody want to say nothing to you.
It's like you don't exist.
You don't, right. You're invisible.
Then you get into a relationship.
The moment you post up a fucking picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you got a boo now?
Right.
Oh, so you're not single no more? You totally ignoring the whole fact that I've been single for as long as I can remember right now.
Right.
So that irks the fuck out of me because it's just like you have the opportunity. Like I never understand when guys feel they have this like they feel almost a certain way about you moving on with your life.
Right.
Like
they lose the privilege. They lose the
yeah, that's the word I was looking for. These niggas out here is
Yeah.
privileged as fuck because they think
Right.
you gonna wait out here for them and you gonna sit here and be like just twiddle your thumbs. No, life moves on.
Because for him, it was more so because we were on and off for years. He was more so like if we would have gotten married, like at least my mom would have had a grandson already. Because he was a twin once upon a time, and his twin passed away, and then who was left was just him and his brother, because his dad passed away years ago. So he became the man of the house. So he was just saying I could at least leave my mom with a grandchild and blah blah blah. But I'm just like, why are you saying these things to me? Like, why now? Like, you friend zoned me. Like, you told me we were just friends, and now all of a sudden you're over here saying like you're jealous because I'm engaged, and you're jealous because you wanted me to have your kid, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
That done fucked you up.
So we got into a whole big argument. Like, mind you, he got out of surgery, and we got into an argument over this. I stopped visiting him until his brother told me he was in hospice, and I was just like, all right, gotta put my big panties on, and now I gotta
Yeah, you gotta be
I gotta do what I gotta do. So but then after that, he was honest. He was just like, obviously, because I didn't want to be the stop because you were so young. I wanted you to find other opportunities that came your way. And that's why I thought it was best for us to stay as friends. And I was like, I hate you with a passion.
See, so how do you guys feel? Like, how do you deal with someone that just makes decisions for you, like on your behalf? Because that's another thing that irks the fuck out of me. It's like
it does.
You don't give. I don't like not having a voice in any type of situation, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. So like, what do you like? How do you guys handle like people that will say things like, "Well, I just thought this was best for the both of us," and it's just like, but you didn't even ask me.
I think it's nonsense, honestly, generally, because I feel like when you know what you want, you go for it. I'm an alpha woman, always been an alpha woman, always will be an alpha woman, and I feel as if when you make decisions for somebody else, you're not taking into account their feelings, your feelings, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So what happens is I feel like it's disrespectful in a way because you didn't even give me a chance to say, hey, that's not how I feel. But I do feel as if it's not a reflection of your feelings for them, more or less, but more their feelings for you. Right. You know what I'm saying? I think that in certain circumstances, if they say that, that means they're not ready for what you're ready for. So, but they're projecting it onto you because they're not bold enough or respectful enough to give you that choice in your face.
Right.
Oh, that's the worst.
I think it's so true. Like, I hate when people just like, well, I thought it was best for you. Well, like, you didn't even give me the opportunity to tell you how I really felt.
Right. And I feel like in any real situation, if you really fuck with me, my opinion matters. Like, you would care how I feel or what I would say. So, like, you saying, like, oh, I just did this because or my biggest thing is, I knew you was going to be mad. So, it's just like, what?
Yeah.
How do you know this? Like, what if I wouldn't have got mad? Then what?
I didn't want to hear you get so upset.
I didn't want to upset you, but
I know you cut off people when you get so mad.
Or you get defensive.
Don't do it in the first place. Like,
right.
You know what the trigger points are, especially if we're friends. I never had a situation where being friends first worked out.
Really?
Yeah, never.
Okay.
Never. I feel like I hold my friendships so near and dear to my heart. And if I put you in a category as a friend, you know what I'm saying? Romantic relationships are so wishy-washy and they're so on and off that it's like I might jeopardize how we feel about it's a difference between being friends first and taking it slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a difference because when you're taking it slow, you're taking it slow going to a destination, which is to be together.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're friends first, when you're friends, it's either you're going to be good friends or friends with benefits, and friends with benefits don't often lead to, romantic
Friends with
long
benefits
term
is.
relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Complicated as
Sometimes,
fuck.
don't get me wrong, like some people, I've heard of situations where I had a boss that he met his wife one night at a club. They went home together and they were married 30 years. And then I heard of a situation where a guy and a girl were best friends for years, and then they finally like felt that spark. And I think movies mess us up with that too. Like those movies where you're friends, and
Hmm.
like Dawson and Joey and Dawson and Pacey from
Yo,
Dawson
my
Creek.
favorite one is, and it's shout out to my college roommate, St. John's in the building. My college roommate's favorite fucking movie, Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar is
Oh
the
my god,
epitome,
that is the
the
epitome
epitome
of friend
of friend
zone.
zoning,
Just
and then realizing like I can't live my life without this person. Like
It's
what?
so unrealistic, and it painted such a bad picture. I was in college when that movie came out, and then at St. John's University,
Shout out
actually.
to St. John. Shout out to the rest of them in the building.
It was one of the first movies they actually opened up at that movie theater
Oh,
on
on the
Jamaica.
little theater. Oh, on the Ave.
Yeah, that was one of the first movies in
Oh,
that theater, believe it or not.
okay.
A little history lesson for the youngins in the room. But but that's so unrealistic. Like he's gonna marry a whole woman, you're gonna have this whole guy that was like,
Fiance.
yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, he loses everything. Then he decides, like, oh, once I'm a loser, my successful best friend, that's the person I love. Like, come on, man, give me a break.
Nah, but my favorite thing was it was just like the when Sanaa Lathan's character had and fell in love, well, was with the was Chorus Bujo, which was her fiance.
I love
Like
him.
this nigga didn't really know her. And then on the other side, Tay Diggs and Nicole Ari Parker, when they were together, like they didn't know each other either because it was certain, like it was one scene. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen Brown Sugar, but I highly recommend seeing it at least once. I'm a sucker for black love comedy, like movies, romance coms. But there's one scene in the movie where they're playing a game. I think it was somebody's birthday party or something, and they were playing a game. And basically, no, I'm lying. It was old girl's bridal shower.
hmm
Yes.
Nicole Ari Parker, so Tay Diggs's fiance, it was her bridal shower. First of all, I don't know why Sanaa Lathan's character, the best friend, got invited to the bridal shower. That was already problematic as fuck. But they invited the girl to come. She brought her homegirl, which was Queen Latifah. So they played this game at
Marceline.
the bridal shower. Facts. They play this game at the bridal shower, and it's basically like, how well do you know your partner type of thing. So the girls was like, oh, we're gonna ask all these questions about, I don't remember the nigga name in the movie, but they was like, we're gonna ask all these questions about him and see how many questions she get right, or like who can guess, the answers or whatever. Literally every question they asked, Sanaa Lathan's character answered every question and made the whole shit awkward as fuck. Cause you were just like, so who's he marrying? Because clearly you don't know him as well as she does. And I feel like that's an important part. Like when you're with someone, they should know you in and out. They shouldn't be like you with somebody and they don't know your favorite color. They don't know your favorite movie.
That's
It,
basic. That's basic nonsense. And you're 100% correct with that. You should know your mate. But get into those movies like the Brown Sugars,
mm-hmm.
like the Best Mans, and
Ooh,
like basketball. I love all those movies. Don't
Best
get me
Man
wrong. I'm
is
a sucker for those movies.
so
I love
problematic.
movies. Black love all the way. I love all kinds of love. Black love too. Right? Why the man gotta lose everything before he realized his best friend is the one for him? Like in Love and Basketball, he had to get all injured and lost his basketball career. And then, oh my
And
goodness,
find out daddy was a hoe.
yeah, oh my goodness, my best friend after all these years, she's the one for me. Like, come on, man.
But
Like,
even in Love and Basketball, and that's why that movie's low. Though, if we were ranking most problematic movies in Black
yeah,
history, Love and Basketball is definitely top 3 because it wasn't even until the end that it wasn't even the fact that he lost all the shit that he lost. It was the fact that you found out your daddy was a hoe. You found out your mama held all these secrets. You find out like you think you know one thing and you don't know one thing. And the thing is that I feel like as people we always ignore the constant in our lives. We always make excuses for the things that clearly makes the most fucking sense. We're like, no, that's not it. No, it'll be something else. So it literally was when at the end of this movie when they did the game and it was just like it took and she lost. Like she lost the game and he still was just like, I love you, like I want to be with you. And she was all in.
All that?
Like nigga, what? And it, like so
all sweaty and embarrassed.
Right. And she lost and she still was just like I love you. And it was just like, what? Like, what do you mean? So I mean, but to say that though, and before we wrap up, to say that though, I do think though sometimes you just have to just kind of lose everything in order to really understand what you really had or what you could have. I don't think it's a bad thing that most times people, you lose out or you someone steps away and you're like,
it is a bad thing. It is a bad thing though, because I want to shine with the people who I grind with. So it's like when you get on top, you get your trophy wife and you forget about the people or the woman who was in the trenches with you. That's problematic. You know what I'm saying? Like
that part of it. That side of the coin, yes. Because it's like, so when I had nothing, I wasn't good enough. So now I have everything. What am I to you? Like, but I think also too is sometimes it's hard for as men, because I think now we're in that era where us as women are more bosses. We're more the alpha woman. We're more on top of things. And for men, at times, it's very, very hard to have that concept of like, because men have that mentality of I need to be the provider. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it's something that I struggle with the individual in this room. But I always say to him, I'm like, listen, like we're a team. So it's like, it's not to say that the stat quo is going to be stat quo in 5 years. No. But for right now, you got to kind of just understand, like, this is what I'm able to do. This is what you're able to do. This is what you bring to the table. That's what I bring to the table. And if we're going to grow, we're going to grow together. And we're going to make it work.
There's no such thing as a man has to provide and a woman has to subside and a woman has to submit. And I think that that's such an unrealistic expectation that we put, especially on Black people,
Absolutely.
Black love, Black relationships.
Absolutely.
And I'm just being completely honest because I don't hear any other, race or classification talking about, a woman must submit to their man. You know what I'm saying? Like, as good as your woman does.
Oh, actually, well, that's in Spanish culture, but girl,
yeah, that's traditional. But I mean, people of color. That's what I meant.
Okay, yeah, because I was about to say.
You never say people of color.
And when I looked at the band, I was like, Spanish niggas is like that. That's why I can't fuck Spanish niggas.
I feel like you're supposed to be partners in your space.
Correct.
You're supposed to bring your good, your bad. He's supposed to bring his good, his bad. And the thing is, life is so up and down. One day you making all the money, one day he's making all the money, and you have to be comfortable with each other on either side of the coin. And I just feel like when it comes to getting back to our topic of friend zoning, you get what I'm saying? People know what they want.
Right.
I feel like you know what you want. And I feel like I had a male best friend, for since I was a little girl, my male best friend. I never thought of him that way. And I don't know if he's ever thought about me that way. But like that whole scene about knowing about, my best friend. Like I know my male best friend inside and out.
Correct. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Wilkins like the back of my hand. However, I will say on record, I've never had any type of inkling of any type of like what would happen, because that used to be a thing too, when people would look at guys and as a female, as a male being best friends, frowned upon because they're like, oh, y'all must be fucking. And it was just like, what? Like one time someone definitely like insinuated that about me and Wilkins, and I nearly was disgusted. And I was just like, not even the fact that my nigga's not great, but it's just the fact that I don't have to fuck with him on that type of level, intimate wise, for him to be one of the main guys in my life. Like the fuck. So everyone has that fucked up concept of like you can't be friends with men, and it's just like, no, like you can. You just choose not to.
Right.
What you're trying to say, and I just feel like it's disrespectful to y'all bond when people say
Right.
stuff.
Like I took that shit super personally. I was like,
Of
excuse
course.
the fuck?
I would
Excuse
too.
me? But anyway, we're gonna end on a positive note. Thank you to the queen of the Jabba Tears Podcast Network for
Thank you.
joining us on this episode of Sazon Talk. We spoke a little bit about friends on it, but we also spoke about love, black love. It is still Black History Month. When this
Yes.
episode does drop, it probably won't be because it'll be the first week of March. But we do want to recognize black love is all around us. So my love, before we do sign off, please let everyone that's viewing, listening, know how to find you and your podcast. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
You can find me at Tavia Regina on Instagram, and you can find Your Sports Show at Your Sports Show on Instagram as well as Facebook and Twitter. We're on Twitter too, so follow us, check us out. We talk a whole lot of sports. I love my brothers with everything. My boys, my three guys. They drive me crazy, but
I don't.
we
You
get
know what's so funny? Everyone always asks me, "How do you deal with Wilkins and Mr. Black?" They always look at me like, "How do you do it?"
Right.
Now I look at you and I'm like, "How do you do it?" Because
no. It's
I
not as
two of
Dre
them is cool. 3.
She got 3.
Oh,
do. No. it's
Listen,
how
all
the
she gotta
Dre
tell me
do
is
it.
the other one is messing with her. I'm gonna look at him, but like, why are you messing with Tay?
there you go.
Yeah, it's how does Dre do it? Because me and Matt, we're
Yeah.
like yin and yang. man.
Absolutely, but that I think is needed. I think that's very important. But once again, thank you to the queen of the Java Tears Podcast Network. Once again, from Your Sports for joining us on this evening's episode of Friend Zoning. Once again, you can listen to this episode amongst all the other episodes we've done so far on the Java Tears Podcast Network on YouTube and on all streaming platforms: Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, all that jazz.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. But other than that, we thank you, Miss Tay, for joining us. We will do this again sometime soon. Because you be busy. You be booked and busy. So we got to catch you on a good day.
Of course. Just let me know anytime. Anytime. And one thing I do know, I know sports and I know relationships. Those
There you
are
go.
two things I do know.
Oh, bitch, that's a podcast by itself. You fucking up. You missing out on some things. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, I am Janelle.
And I am Amanda.
And we will talk to you guys soon.
Bye.